Welcome back to the Transaction Care Podcast. I am your host and resident care coordinator, Lilly Hernandez, and this is episode 59, the keys to staying compliant in your real estate business. There are a lot of changes occurring within the real estate industry as I type this out, and the main topic of discussion being commissions. I won't be going into detail about those cases since they are still ongoing, but we will get into a few ways to help you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Now let's get started. Number 1, stay up to date with your local city, county, state, and country updates. Visit their websites, follow them on social media, sign up for their newsletters. Also, know who is in charge. Who are your association presidents who are in charge of releasing and or approving these updates? For example, in California, generally twice a year, we will get major updates to our forms, be it the contracts, disclosures, and or rules, regulations, and laws. And as of the recording of this podcast, the Department of Justice, aka the DOJ, has halted the release of 21 forms due to the undergoing investigations surrounding the legal filings in cases involving the NAR, REX, Zillow, and MLS PIN. And had I not been up to date and checking these websites or even going on social media to see what the latest releases are, I would have no idea. So take accountability, reach out to these people or these websites and see what is happening in the latest news in real estate. Number 2, attend meetings, webinars, trainings, workshops. Each brokerage that you work for or with will likely have their own events explaining in detail what is happening and how it will impact their company and when. So, a great way to stay on the same page is to know when those meetings occur. So, you got to attend them or at least watch the replays. If you are an independent contractor working with a brokerage, you are and I'm speaking from experience, you are more than likely to be left out of those announcements, those emails, those meetings. So what you have to do is you will have to take the initiative and seek out that information, then incorporate it into your calendar. The same way you want to know who's in charge of the associations, you want to know who's in charge of the brokerage, whether it's an office manager, a general manager, director of operations, president, whoever. Know who those people are. Reach out to them or their team of assistants, whoever. So then you can be put onto these lists or at least be in contact with these people to extend your network so you're not being left out. Knowing who's in charge will also help you validate that information that is being shared with you or with others. That way you're not just relying on uncredible sources. So definitely make sure you check with each brokerage that you work with to see if they have any updated internal forms, broker-specific forms, processes, procedures, and again, who is in charge of facilitating these systems or these events, and definitely stay in touch with them regularly. Number 3, update your checklists, agendas, to-do list, calendars, because if a new form is released June 1st, anything after June 1st must be used. And be fully aware of any grace periods regarding those updates, because if you have previous listings that were on the market before June 1st, those disclosures are still valid, but you always want to make sure that you're on the same page as your broker and see if they end up saying something otherwise, because they're always consulting with their attorneys as well as making sure that they're in alignment with the National Association of Realtors or any other major associations and companies that impact each transaction. This also helps mitigate and decrease the amount of lawsuits. Updating and having the most current forms in your libraries, in your templates, and on your checklists, and knowing when to use them and how to use them is vital. So again, make sure you're checking with your brokerage to see how they want to handle any overlap with new forms versus old forms, and if there's any language that you may want to use on an addendum in order to make sure that you are disclosing information properly. In some instances, your brokerages may say anything done in the last 3 months must be redone. And that's why it's important to always check in with your broker to see what they require before just assuming that you're doing it correctly, because every year things change, office procedures change, systems, etc., etc. So always make sure you're tapped in and on top of it and doing what is required in that month and in that year. Tip number 4, the keys to staying compliant in your real estate business: renewals. Yes. Is your E&O insurance current? Reach out to the company or maybe shop around for a new company to see if they have any specials, discounts, sales. But otherwise, go ahead and just pay the fee. And this is a note to myself as well. Also, is your real estate license up to date? Your broker's license? If you work with a team, are your team members up to date as well? Do they have the proper insurance and coverage that they need? Because you definitely want to do your best to handle these payments and renewals about a month or two in advance to prevent any lapse in policies. So for instance, if it's due July 1st, you probably want to start investing some time, effort, and money into anticipating this large payment that is ahead. Even sooner if you're really on top of things. But either way, you want to definitely stay on top of these types of things because, God forbid anything happens, at least you will be covered. At least you won't get kicked out of your brokerage because your real estate license is expired, or you're not representing clients with an expired license. So keep those things in mind. Also, bonus, look into your car insurance, registration, residential stickers, or even your homeowners or renters insurance. Take time out to do an elaborate audit of these things and any other pressing plans that you have in place. Because again, your budget, your finances will all be triggered or affected by these things if done in an timely manner. So in terms of payments, you might have to pay additional fees, but do your own research, do your own due diligence in order to assure these programs are up to date, these plans are up to date and real, etc. So before we get into key/tip number 5, I want to check in with you guys. How are you feeling about these tips? Are there any things that I might have missed or you want me to talk about? Let me know. You can email me, tc@transactioncare.com. That's the best way to get in contact with me, as well as visiting my website, transactioncare.com, which is actually a good transition into key/tip number 5, because I want to talk about resources. Whether you're just starting out, you're seasoned, or fairly new, but you're still kind of overwhelmed or don't quite know who to reach out to or what questions to ask, visit transactioncare.com. I highly suggest you just start with my website, and this is a shameless plug. I'm not even going to lie. Please sign up for my email newsletter. Add this podcast to your library. I have over 20 interviews with industry leaders and voices, as well as over 50 episodes of free game, free information, free keys. And subscribe to my YouTube channel where I give you a day in my life, behind the scenes. I go live a lot and do co-working sessions. And of course, follow me across all social media platforms at Transaction Care. I am glad to be a resource, provide you with as much guidance as possible. And if I don't have the answers, then I will do my best to put you on the path towards clarity, because there's plenty of room for all of us to eat, but I know how overwhelming it can get. So if you have just one hub where you can get that guidance, get those keys and get the information, or at least be directed into the right areas or to the right people, then I'm lending myself to be that for you, that starting point, that launching pad. And if you want to work one-on-one together, of course, there's one-on-one coaching available with me directly. If I'm not a fit, I know plenty of other coaches, because again, it's community over competition, and there's plenty of room for all of us so we can all eat. I just want to have fun, help people, and enjoy the day-to-day in doing so. So with that said, I do want to make an announcement. It's a soft launch, soft. It's just soft. But I am working on a community platform again, because if you were here last year, you know we launched one, but we are better, we are more mature, we are evolving, and I need you all to not just support, but provide me with the feedback you would like to see in a community-based platform. So this is somewhat of a soft launch. I don't know if there's a phase before the soft launch, but right now I'm kind of riffing off of this. But either way, I am relaunching a community platform. I want to include a paid/free version. It's still in the works. We're still in the very first draft of things. Done is better than perfect, but we're constantly rebuilding, restructuring, re-strategizing, or just taking action, just putting it out there. So please join my newsletter. That is the first step in order to see what's happening. I may need a couple of volunteers. This is not set in stone. I'm just kind of putting feelers out there to see what and who is available to help me kind of navigate this part of it, because I did this all alone last year. I never even checked with the community. I never even asked people what they needed. I just felt in my heart, the people need this. Let me put it out there. And it worked for a little bit, but there wasn't a strong foundation that it was standing on. So with that said, I want to make sure I go about this with you all, not just alone. Because again, community over competition, and just community, period. You guys are my village. You guys are my people. And coming on here, talking to you guys via the podcast, going live, I want to get to know you guys better, provide you with more accountability if you need it, guidance, resources, trainings, access to me as well on a one-on-one basis, as well as within a group setting. So if that resonates with you, please visit transactioncare.com. Sign up for the email newsletter. If you're already a part of the email newsletter, then check your inbox. So stay tuned, more information to come. But thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. This has been another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. I am so grateful to those that are listening, that will listen, and even those that stopped listening. I hope I have provided you with more value in your life, or at least have kept you entertained. I truly do love my TC community and my village. You are all the best. So with that said, until the next episode, I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.